Hello, basketball fans! It's me, DC, here for Fantasy Basketball Analyzer to help you get ready for week 2 of the Fantasy NBA season and the whole season long by breaking down the waiver wire with you. I will be back every weekend all the way through the finals of your playoffs unless something unforeseen pops up, but that's the plan. If you haven't already seen it, I did the weekly preview. It's right here. I'm linking to it right now if you want to check that out, breaking down schedule, quality games. With that, I mean, don't skip watching it, but we would like to try and focus on an ideal week by picking up Dallas, Golden State, OKC, that's the gear, and potentially Brooklyn, maybe Sacramento, but it's a long shot. It's weird because they only have 2 games. Anyway, quality game-wise, that's kind of what we would target. But right now, week 2, there's a lot still up in the air. There's a lot of very valuable players that potentially have season-long value beyond just streaming for the week. And in most cases, I would rather do that even if that doesn't optimize this week. It depends on what your roster is. So we're going to go through some of the names that are higher. Normally, I talk about players that are rostered in 50% or less, so that applies to most of the audience. You know, they're available in at least half of leagues. But we're going to talk a little bit higher because I don't want to be scraping to the bottom of the barrel going, hey, pick up Gafford, which is a worthwhile pickup, and we could talk about him if, say, Brook Lopez is sitting out there available for you at 68%. So we're going to get into it. Also, just in case there's any questions down in the comments, the beard is smaller, or as my sister-in-law said, I look more aerodynamic than maybe she last saw me. Halloween's coming up. We did a fun family Halloween costume. If you wait till the end, I'll throw up the picture of what we did, and you can let me know if you recognize it. We did win a costume contest, so hopefully some of you will get it. Anyways, if you got fun costumes coming up, leave that down in the comments. It has nothing to do with basketball, but I enjoy the spooky season. So let's get into it and talk about the waiver wire. So like I said, normally we're going to go deeper and talk about players and break them down a little more. I'm going to try and rapid fire through some names that might help you, might not. If they're not rostered in your, or if they are rostered in your league, not available, it's not going to help you, but that's okay. We could talk about maybe some drops too. Depends on how it goes. I'm not going to hit it too hard. So if you question, hey, you didn't mention this guy, or I think they're about the same, leave it in the comments. Let's talk about it. You can also always hit me up on Twitter at @BBallAnalyzer. I try to be really good about that. I'm actually better about tweeting at me than at DMs. I don't know why. My notifications, that's just how it works. Anyway, so let's kind of go through it. I'm starting real high. People rostered in 80% of leagues. So they're not available in most. But there are players that I really love. Ben Mathurin, I've got him in my top 3 for Rookie of the Year possibilities, right? He's not going to be available for most of you. Right now, live, I'm looking at it at 78%. If I'm showing his stats, it might be a different number because I grabbed a screenshot over the weekend a couple times saying, why is he not rostered? I think he's going to put up a lot of numbers for Indiana despite being a rookie. Looking back at his last 3 games here, 27-7-2, 26-5-2, 19-7-2. All the games he had at least 3 3-pointers, right? 3, 3, and 5 3-pointers. Shot over 50% for the season right now. If you average out 46, 43, 50. I really like him. I think he's going to produce all year. Indiana's not going for anything, so they might as well give him the play time. I think he's really talented. I'm excited about this player. So while he's only available in 22% of leagues, that's almost a quarter of leagues. That's too high. I mean, I drafted Herb Jones in non-dynasty. No, I drafted him in dynasty leagues. But we'll say in dynasty league, I would definitely rather have Mathurin than Herb Jones. As much as I love Jones on the court and what he brings to it for fantasy, I want those points. I want those threes and a good percentage. Plug him in at shooting guard. That's really valuable. But it's also great in points leagues. Sticking with Indiana, I'm interested in Jalen Smith, but I'm not going to push too hard at this. 76% feels about right to me for the roster percentage. He just had a really good game, 19 and 15 with 1 assist and 1 steal. That's nice, but the game before that he had 2 and 2, 28 minutes versus 7 minutes. I think he might get a little extra here with Turner out. We don't know how long Turner is going to be out. The home ball boy, he's landed on the home ball boy. People were joking like, that's what happens at away games. That's where you bribe the little kid to go hurt someone. Not really, and hopefully Turner's going to be fine. There might be a little more value to be found in the front court right now while Turner's out. When Turner comes back, maybe affect Smith. I mean, I don't think they're going to overlap a ton with specifically he's the backup center, plug and play. I don't think it's like that, but the minutes still get spread out. I also think at some point it's inevitable that Turner gets traded this season. So if Smith does take off, that could be interesting, but I don't think he's a full season long hold. I think you pick him up, use him a little if you want. Indiana doesn't have the best schedule this week. They've got 4 games. 2 are on low volume days, 2 are on the higher volume days. So I think it's interesting. 78%, 76% as I see it live is okay, but I'm not going too nuts. I do see he's a hot pickup. Honestly, I'm almost more interested in Jaden McDaniels. Same level of roster, right? 74%, but I think his role in Minnesota is a little more assured. last game is 10-4-1. I'm not going too far, but the game before that, he got 19-6, three steals and 2 blocks. That's kind of inflating his stock a little bit. I think he settles somewhere in between there. You get a small forward, power forward who probably is going to get you a steal and a block a game. Average, I'm rounded. Maybe he's a little low on the steal, like 0.8 and then 1.1 blocks, something like that. But he's good, solid. He's not going to hurt you in percentage. I like him in a category league. Go to the other side. Jordan Clarkson, if you've been playing fantasy, 71% roster, available in 30% of leagues. He should be picked up in points leagues. This is too low. He just got 29, 5, and 6. He had 7 3-pointers. He can be a bit of a streaky shooter, but Utah has plenty of minutes to go around. Utah keeps winning games, presumably on accident. At some point, they're going to want to trade off some of their guys, but I think that's probably going to be more Connolly and stuff like that from what I'm hearing from beat reporters and stuff. It sounds like Utah really wants Clarkson to stay there with the team, be kind of a mentor like that, and they're happy with the price they're paying for that. If that does happen, his minutes even go up. I love it for a points league. I think it's fine in a categories league, but if you really compress those down, you're getting the threes, you're getting the points, some rebounds and assists, but I wouldn't count on too much. I mean, right now he's averaging 5 and 5. That's great if that keeps up all year. He shouldn't be available in the 30% of leagues. That's too much. Getting a little bit deeper here, shouldn't be any shocking names. I like this guy going into the preseason, I like this guy going into the season because of what he did in the preseason. Santi Aldama for Memphis. He's stepped right in for Triple J. Some people are high on Brandon Clark, and I like Clark a lot as a player. He didn't automatically get the starting position. I think it makes more sense. They can kind of use him as a tweener, an undersized center, play power forward. That is a player that's probably more helpful coming off the bench. They've locked him up long term, so they like him. Aldama's playing real well. The games haven't been consistent box scores. He came out gangbusters, 18, 11, 1, 1, and 1. The next game, only 8 and 9, 3 assists, a steal, and 3 blocks. I would not count on this, but right now he's averaging like 2 blocks a game. Next game, 8 and 6. Dallas completely slaughtered Memphis. I was a little disappointed, not just because I am a Grizz fan. I was really excited about, Ja, Luka, and everything, and Dallas just came out so hot that the game was over before it started. It was one of the best quarters of scoring Dallas has had in like franchise history. So I'm not going to read too much into him only playing 21 minutes there. I think maybe someone's going to cut bait and go, ooh, shiny piece of candy and go somewhere else. 66% rostered. So exactly 1/3 of leagues, he should not be that available. Now, when Triple J comes back, is he going to take a hit? Probably. But he might also establish himself for good minutes in the rotation. That would instantly make him like a bench guy for your fantasy, right? It'd be waiver levels, waiver adjacent, pick him up and cut him back up. But I think the talent's there. He looks like he's taking a big step forward from what we've seen last year. Talent and opportunity. I'm really excited about that. I'm more excited about that than I am Brandon Clark, who's 68% rostered. And he got you 8, 3, and 1 with a block, 4, 4, and 2 with a block. He's playing about 20 minutes a game, even with Triple J out. I'm fine cutting him. If Aldama's out there, go for it. Or we're going to work our way down the list on some of these deeper guys. I would go there too. I'm just not hanging on to Clark. Hell, I'm not going to push hard that you grab Isaiah Jackson, although versus Clark, I think I would. I mean, he had 8 and 5. He had 16 and 6, 3 and 3. Like I said, Turner is out. He's 55% rostered, so you can pick him up in about half of leagues. He just got 5 blocks the other night. He can get blocks in a pinch, but he's a waiver guy. Like I said, Indiana's got 4 games, but 2 of them you're probably not getting him in there for high volume days. But if you want to pick him up to spot start for either Monday or for the end of the week, just pencil in his name, see how he's doing. I don't think it's season-long ad, and that's really what I'm still looking for here in week 2. For instance, Isaiah Hartenstein, man, I always mess that up. I should check it out. Do you guys know there's a webpage where you can hear all the players pronounce their own names? It's super helpful. Anyway, Hartenstein, we're going with it. 51% rostered. He's another center. I would be much more interested in him. He doesn't get the blocks, but I think he should get enough minutes. It's hard to say because our sample size right now, as of recording, he's played 2 games. Played 40 minutes against Memphis, where they lost. And then when they went against Detroit, he only played 21 minutes. Tibbs likes to run his guys into the ground by giving a lot of minutes. Obviously, Mitchell Robinson is there, but Mitchell Robinson never seems to play more than his 15, 17 minutes. I think Hartenstein's going to get a lot of minutes, and that should create, if not a ton of scoring, plenty of opportunities to pile up some rebounds, good percentages. I like him in a category league. He'll get you some blocks. So spot start in points leagues, but I think he could be valuable all season in a category league. If you want to pass on him for upside of some other guys, Jalen Duren, 48%. I don't think he's doing it yet, but he should have plenty of opportunity. I'm not crazy about it, but I like the player. I just mean for fantasy, I feel like he will always be at the cusp of picking up a guy for a quality game, so I'm not going to cut anyone super exciting. It's balancing of, do I want to lock someone up for the season long, or do I cut someone short-sighted because I'm excited about their upside? I feel like Kelly Olynyk, 42% roster right now, is dancing on that line. I think traditionally fantasy players love him more than I do. I don't know if it's I think he's good at garbage time. I think he's good on a garbage team where he can compile a bunch of stats for you, which is good for fantasy. And sometimes I have a hard time separating the value add of what he brings to his NBA team from what he can bring to the fantasy team. So I might be naturally biased a little too low on him. His box scores, 8 points, 1 assist with 2 3-pointers. Would not excite you. Next game, 5 3-pointers, 21 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 4 steals, and a block. Neither of those two extremes are what I would expect from him this year. He's 42% rostered. If you want to pick him up, Utah's got 4 games, 2 of them on the low volume days, 2 on the higher volume days. They're decent matchups. They get Houston twice, which I like. Denver, which is not known for their defense, right? And then Memphis, which plays at a fast pace. So I like those matchups if you can work him in there. If you're going just now, spot start, hope to get something. Get some threes out of your big man spot. That could be helpful in a category league. If you're going season long, I'm much more interested in Walker Kessler. 24 points in his first game. Guy comes out 12 and 10. 1 assist, 1 steal. Okay. Next game, 18 minutes. He plays less. Not a good sign. Only 6 points. Only 5 rebounds. Only 2 assists. Why are you recommending him? 4 blocks. That's what this guy does. I'm not saying he's going to have league impact of Rudy Gobert. That would be crazy. But he's available in 60% of leagues. And I think in the second half of the season, Utah, whether they're tanking or they just, this guy's ready, we're throwing him in for the talent, I think there's a very good chance for you just getting rebounds and blocks from a guy. Much more interested in category leagues, but he could just pile these up. 60% of leagues. If you've got a bench spot, if you're feeling good about your team and you don't need to plug him in right now, I'm interested. Because even if you do plug him in and you're getting 6 and 5, you'd be disappointed. But shot 66 from the floor. Didn't take that many shots, so it's not really going to move your percentages. But 4 blocks, like, that's eye-opening. And we've seen this from him in his other play. This feels like it's possible. It doesn't feel like a fluke to me that he could rack up blocks. And a single player like that in your category league can win the category for you, because there are plenty of guards slotting in all these spots, shooting guard, small forwards, and your extra forwards and utility slots that aren't going to do it. If you get 2 bigs that are doing something like this, you can take that category and just set it and forget it, as long as you have enough scoring and threes to make up from it in your other positions. I wanted to be talking about Jalen Williams this week. I was excited about the rookie. I drafted him in my Dynasty League. Comes in, plays 6 minutes in his first game, gets his eye hurt, thought he was just poking the eye. Nope, orbital bone fracture. So he's out 7 to 10 games. Just pencil him in, go in your, waiver wire, flag him in your free agency. Put the little star, put the little flag, depending on what platform you're playing on. We're not going to have to talk about for like 2 weeks, but I like him a lot. I like his potential, and OKC should have plenty of minutes to give him for him to really show what he can do. I think he's going to be a good player. We've been talking about bigs a lot, so let's look for a guard for you. How about in Miami, Max Strus? Shooting guard, small forward, so you can get him in either spot in your lineup, so guard or forward if we want to say it that way. They've got 4 games this week, 3 on low volume days. He can be a streaky guy, but I think he helps a lot, both on the court and your fantasy court. Last game, he played 37 minutes, 20 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 blocks. 3 3-pointers. The game before that, he got 23 minutes and didn't do a lot. He had 2 and 1. There was nothing, but before that, 22, 7 and 1, 5 3-pointers. He's going to get you threes. He's going to get you some points. It's not a ton of assists, but you're not going to plug him in at point guard, so you're not too worried about it. I don't expect there to be a ton of blocks. He got 2 blocks. It's averaging almost a block a game so far this season. That seems a little high. I don't expect that. I expect it to be more like every 4th game he gets a block. But Miami's going to be resting guys plenty this season, at least based on my expectations. They got Jimmy, they got Lowry. They have guys that they're going to want to keep fresh for the playoffs. Max should get a lot of minutes. I think he's going to be a prime pickup that we're talking about on this channel all the time when we're talking about waiver wire, because he's probably not going to be enough to be held all season long, even if he's kind of bringing that value. But he's probably going to be a cream of the crop streaming guy. Someone I always use as an example is like a Patrick Beverley. There's someone who's mostly available in leagues where you scoop them up and you're happy to have them. But when you look at someone else, you're like, I'm going to just grab stats from somewhere else because it's not bringing anything particularly special. It's just solid. If I'm looking for other guards, I'm ready to watch Emmanuel quickly. I drafted him in some leagues, but I don't know what the Knicks are doing. It feels like they're a little crowded in the backcourt right now. His last game, 20 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. He played 27 minutes, got you 3 3-pointers, 57% from the floor. Didn't miss a free throw. I love that stat line. Before that, though, 17 minutes, 3 rebounds, nothing else. Nada. No points, nothing. I don't know which version we're going to get. 12% rostered sounds right for that kind of inconsistent. But man, 27 and 7 is eye-opening. I'm a little more excited about Emmanuel Quickley than I am even Cam Reddish. He's been a hot pickup. Reddish had a good game when he got in there. I'm hoping I'm wrong and that keeps up because I love it when players are good. The NBA is more fun to watch when it happens. I'm not sure if Reddish is going to keep doing that. I'm actually more interested in watching Quickley, and if something happens, scoop in there because I think he could be a good player if the Knicks have time for him. If there's an injury, I'm going to jump on it. If you don't want to do that right now because you're looking for consistent minutes, then maybe you look at Dennis Smith Jr. Charlotte needs a guard. I don't know that he keeps it up. His last game was 10, 2, and 4. That's all okay, but he got you 3 steals. Last game, 12, 2, and 4, but he got you 2 steals and 2 blocks. I'm not expecting the blocks to keep up like that, but the steals might. Honestly, he's playing right now. It's just the first quarter, and he already has a steal in that game. If you're playing in a categories league, Dennis Smith Jr., 25% rostered. Charlotte's going to need him to play at least 20 minutes a game. And if he's getting you a steal every 10 minutes he plays, that is valuable in a category league. I would go there if you're looking for someone who can just help you right now. Points leagues, I probably leave him out there. This video is going long and there's so many more names because it's so early in the season. It's hard to narrow it down. I don't want to complain, hey, I have a lot to talk about to give you guys names because sometimes we are scraping the bottom of the barrel for the waiver wire. But whoever else you're considering, leave in the comments down below. I can weigh in, especially sometimes it's about, do I want this guy if I have to cut this guy? Ayu Dosunmu, I think he's going to be fine. I think he'll be solid. I'm not excited about there being more upside than we're already seeing, so I'm not really running for that. On the flip side, Kevin Huerter for Sacramento. I just caught the end of the game last night against the Clippers. I didn't get to see the whole game yet. 18, 3, and 5. He's a three-point specialist, right? But 18, 3, and 5 is great, but the 5 3-pointers are what make it valuable at 55% from the floor. Game before that, 23, 3, and 2, 6 3-pointers at 66%. Get a 3-point specialist who's just nailing it from deep. And by that, I mean the percentage is really good. He's not just like 40% from the floor because this is all he takes. Bunch of threes that turns into points with good percentages. I think that's helpful in all category leagues. 58% roster looks like the live number as I'm talking to you. So available in about half of leagues, well more than a third of leagues. More interested there. Anyone else you got? There's so many names. Leave in comments down below. Hope week 1 went well. Hope you're getting ready for Halloween. Good fun costume, leave it down below. I'll include the family costume here as we're leaving off. And you know what I want you to do? Go out and win your week. Thank you so much for watching. If you've made it this far, please hit the like button and leave a comment down below. It helps me grow the channel. If you want more videos like this, hit subscribe or even the little bell will give you alerts. And I'll be back soon with another video for you.